Hi, I'm Chris from Sprog. Today we're going to look at pumping up the tyres on a kid's bike, and we'll look at both using a Presta and a Schrader valve. If you're not sure whether your tyre's pumped up enough, there's a rough and ready test that involves a piece of fruit. If you've got a road bike tyre, you want it pumped up similar to trying to squeeze an apple, so pretty hard. For a mountain bike or hybrid tyre, an orange is a good indicator. So a bit squashier, a little bit more give. You'll have one of two different types of valve. First one is called a Schrader. If you take the cap off, that's the same as you'd find on a car tyre. Or this one, which is called a Presta. Looks like that. It's got a second threaded section that you need to unscrew anti-clockwise to allow you to actually pump air into it. So you're going to need the right type of pump head for the type of valve that you've got. So as you can see, the Presta is a very thin, narrow one, which is like that. And this particular pump's got both on. So, and this one is the Schrader. So it's the same as sort of an airbed pump or air mattress pump. And that's that one, which is sort of wider, shorter, fatter one. To actually pump a tyre up, we'll do the Presta first. So we've undone the threaded section. Then we'll attach the pump head. So that pushes down over onto the valve. We lock the valve into position, and then we can pump. So some pumps will be fitted with a pressure gauge, so this one and this one. And if you do have a gauge, that's good, because on the sidewall of your tyre will be a minimum and a maximum pressure. So for this one, we've got minimum 40, maximum 65 psi. So set your gauge accordingly, or pump it up to that value on your gauge. If you don't have a pressure gauge, then you can go with the fruit analogy, which is for a road bike tyre, pump it up until it's as hard as, say, squeezing an apple, and on a mountain bike tyre or a hybrid, like squeezing an orange. So to inflate the Presta valve, we're going to pump it up to the firmness of an apple, because it's a road bike tyre in this case. So first of all, remove the dust cap. Then, as mentioned before, there's a secondary threaded section that needs to be undone anti-clockwise to allow the air into the inner tube. We choose our correct pump head for the Presta. Place it over and lock into position. Then for this tyre, the maximum pressure is 125 psi. So what we'll do is we'll use our pressure gauge and inflate it to 100 psi. So using long, steady strokes. There we go. That's 100. We'll check first to make sure we've got that's nice and firm. Undo the locking lever. Remove the pump head. Don't forget to tighten up the threaded section and replace the dust cap. So let's pump up the tyre with the Schrader valve. First of all, get the correct valve head, place it over the valve, make sure it's nice and snug. With this pump, we lock it into position, and then we're going to be pumping up, in this case, between 40 and 65 psi. I've got a pressure gauge, so I'm going to go to 50. There we go. Before I remove the pump head, I'm just going to make sure that I'm happy with the amount of pressure I've put into the tyre. That feels good to me. So then I'm going to undo the lever, remove the head and replace the dust cap. Done. So if you find that when you attach the pump head you can't actually pump any air into your tyre, there's a couple of issues that could be a problem. Okay. So on a press valve, if we take the pump head out of the way, it might be that you haven't undone the threaded section. Without doing that, you can't actually let any air into the valve and into your tyre. Secondly, it could be that this section is maybe clogged by a bit of dirt or it's seized up a little bit, and what that means is it won't actually move up and down. So if you just push down on it just to release it, then reattach your pump head, you should now be able to pump it up. On the Schrader, inside the valve, there's sort of the valve core there, and they can get sort of maybe a bit of dirt in there, or once they're going to get stuck. So you can use something like maybe the end of a Allen key, hex key, or even a pen to just push down to make sure that it's able to move, so that when you attach your pump head, you can then put air into your tyre.